Stop
senseless.
Get some help.
And almost to tears the past few weeks. Elden Ring won Game of the Year in 2022 and has been talked about for eons about how amazing it is and how so much fun. Oh man, the story's so good. It's just so fun. Learning the attack patterns, learning the lore, learning the different weapons and spells, and talking to all the fancy characters in the game. It's a stunning fantasy world filled with fantastical monsters and massive bosses that will completely ruin your day if you just run in after them. My name is Luke, and I'm extremely indecisive and picky, and I decided to pick up Elden Ring for the first time ever after playing Sekiro, Demon Souls, a couple Dark Souls games from time to time, and the Jedi games, the other Souls like Mortal Shell and other games around there. I don't really love Souls-likes because they never really grab me much, but the beauty of this game and how everybody talks about it kind of drew me in a little bit, so I was like, alright, I'll give it a shot. I suppose maybe it's worth it to see if this will be the one, the fantasy game that I want to be engulfed in and rant to my wife about the lore right before bed. With its hype and the DLC that got released and having like an 85% on Steam for reviews, I've been told a million times that I need to play this game, but I just never got around to it because it's, you know, Souls-like, very intimidating, kind of scary. Scary in the sense of like, okay, if I fight this random guy, he's just gonna hit me with his sword and I'm done. And I've lost my mind. This game is not for the faint of heart because just in the first area alone, I wanted to just like give up and just cry, run, throw my computer across the room. That's fun. Elden Ring is different because it's got an open world, so it's not like one of those linear games you're walking down a hallway or a road and you're just like, oh, I wonder what's gonna come around the corner or whatever is gonna be there. Is you see these vast open spaces and you're like, I wonder what's gonna be creeping up around this area or these woods or this massive castle. You'd expect, you know, the open world would give you some space to move around, kind of weasel your way around enemies to kind of get an advantage, but that's the furthest thing from the truth, turns out. In the early game, I'd stumble across like 3 or 4 enemies and I'd think it's a cakewalk or a walk in the park or walk on whatever dessert you want to walk on, but it's not fun because you're wondering if the guy in front of you is really your biggest enemy when 3 of the other guys behind you are right ready to rip you open. Fun times. First couple hours were fun. Getting by a fight on the skin of your teeth with like a little chunk of health left, or just kind of praying that you can dodge your way out of all of their attacks, and so then you can swoop in and get that one sacred kill. But didn't really feel like I had that power early, and I can't really imagine that I would get it later because the swordplay didn't feel like my character was doing much. And in the term of bosses, like I feel like I should be paid a very livable wage just to fight them or even just to be near them. Walking through the smoke cloud doors, I don't know what they're called. Sorry, Souls-like fans, my bad. But going into a boss fight after dying 15 times, and you're just like, alright, here we go, time to cry. And just not feeling like you're learning anything. I learned attack patterns only for them to just like switch up and throw something else in there, or I fall down and I'm done because my character won't get up fast enough for me to even attempt to throw in another swing. He just stays there. And I'm like, great. This feels like playing online Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or Tekken. Just getting your butt handed to you on a silver platter.
Someone must extinguish thy flame.
I loved playing the Star Wars Jedi games and having like a Souls-like, but with a Star Wars coat of paint, and just feeling like, oh, it's hard, but I'm enjoying that it's hard because I'm learning something. But in this game, it kind of didn't hit that for me. I know I'm gonna get called out because it's like, oh, you're just upset because you suck. And it's like, yeah, I probably do. But like, I played the Star Wars Jedi games in the hardest difficulties, and I felt the challenge, and I felt like I was getting somewhere. Or when I played Demon Souls when it came out on the PS5, I was like, okay, this is rough, but there's something here. I feel like I can get past it. I wasn't feeling like all my weapons, if I use a sword instead of a javelin, then I'd just be wasting my time away. This game is beautiful. Just look around and look at the large vistas of absolute gorgeous landscapes. I know those words probably mean the same thing, but gotta get that word count up. The lore is no joke, because it literally feels like all of Token's work maybe adds up to maybe 5% of Elden Ring lore, because there's just so much going on. And I'm really struggling to try and grab a hold of it, because it feels like this game doesn't hold your hand. I'm hyped for Crimson Desert, and I want to feel that like high fantasy void. I played the new Final Fantasy VII remakes up to what we have now last year, and I love them. But since not having a fantasy game in a nice while besides like Avowed, which didn't do much for me, I wanted something like a good third-person fantasy role-playing game. And I was hoping that this would be it. And I really, really wanted this game to be it, but I can't see myself going back to it. It just doesn't feel like it's grabbing me the way that I wanted to. If I have a hard day at work, the last thing I want to do is come home, sit in front of this game, and just see that you died screen come up, and just re-question all of my life's choices like I do every day. I've hit blockades and blockades and blockades of bosses and enemies that I've been trying to kill and beat, and I've gotten nowhere because I just keep getting my butt handed to me, and it's really, really taking a toll. I'm a big fighting game guy, so like playing Mortal Kombat growing up, or Tekken, or Street Fighter, or Killer Instinct, God forbid. You're learning your combos, you're learning your attack patterns, you're learning your punches, your kicks, your everything. You're learning how the enemies react to all of that. But in this game, I'm having a really hard time finding the responsiveness. And I know that it's not supposed to feel responsive because Red Dead 2 has that like tank control almost, where you're like slow, you're sluggish. It's supposed to feel that way for the realism, but the realism falls as soon as a boss comes into the ring and you're like, alright, cool, let's take down this giant skyscraper of a monster. It just doesn't hit. I know I'm gonna get a little bit of hate for this video, but that's fine. I'll take it. I just don't get the appeal of this game and why people love it so much. Like, they just don't work for me. Demon Souls, yep. Dark Souls, sure. Sekiro, absolutely. I totally understand those games. They make sense to me. But I feel like where this game is lacking is the open world. I love open world games, but like, this just doesn't feel like it's the right genre. It's like if they made a Resident Evil game, but they made it open world, it wouldn't have the same charm as the others. The linearity of those other games makes them what they are, immersive. So I don't really feel that immersiveness when I have my hand on the sticks for this one. If I'm riding across a field and I see a group of enemies, in Metal Gear I would go and I'd be like, oh, okay, we're gonna sneak around these guys so I can get an advantage. But in this game I feel like there's never an advantage. You get one guy out and then somehow his buddy that's like 15, 20 feet away from you sees exactly what you're doing, and then you get swarmed by like 10 of them that you didn't even know were there. So it's like, cool, I can't fight 10 enemies because I'm so small compared to the rest of them, so their swords are the size of me. And you don't really get that like tight corridor kind of feeling where you're like, okay, well, at least I can take them out one by one or two by one. I don't know if that's the way that works, but still, you can feel that like you at least have a fighting chance, and you're not just gonna get swung off your feet from behind by like 4 different guys. Whereas playing Demon Souls, you're walking down that creepy old hallway in the beginning, and you get those skeletons coming after you, and you're like, ooh, this is creepy, and your sword's hitting walls because it's way too tight, and you're like, oh no, I feel like I'm in this corridor with these skeletons in real life, because it feels so immersive. If you love this game, that's amazing. I'm glad that you love it, but it just didn't do it for me. And I'm not trying to tell you don't play this game, because that's the furthest thing that I want you to do. I want you to have your own opinions. I want you to play this game. If you're watching this and you haven't played this game, I would give it a shot, because maybe it's one of those games where you're like, ooh, this is different and I like it. Because it's different for me, but I wasn't too fussy on it. And honestly, I want to know how your experience was, so drop that down under and let me know. But that's my thoughts. It's a game I won't be revisiting, and honestly, it's sad to say, because I wanted to love it so much. But that's why we have so many games come out in the run of a year, because they're not for everyone. And that's okay. Like, I enjoyed Spider-Man, but I know that there's people out there that didn't enjoy Spider-Man, and that's fine. Crazy, but fine. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And it would be awesome if you could drop a like down below and share this with your mom and your grandparents, or whoever, your dog, your sister. You know, maybe it's the same person, I don't know. But thank you for watching. See you next time.